Good afternoon. Welcome. This is Flo Montgomery, and today we're going to explore the doctrine of premillennialism. Premillennialism is an eschatological position that teaches Christ's second coming will occur before the millennium, a literal 1,000-year reign of Christ on earth. Premillennialism is rooted in the belief that Christ will return to establish his physical kingdom on earth. This stands in contrast to the other views that see the millennium as a symbolic or already in progress. Premillennialists hold a high view of Scripture and interpret biblical prophecy literally. This means that when the Bible speaks of Christ ruling on earth for 1,000 years, they take it at face value. During this time, Christ will personally reign as king in a theocratic government, fulfilling God's plan for his kingdom. One of the strongest foundations for premillennialism is God's covenantal promises. The Abrahamic covenant in Genesis 15:18 guarantees a specific land to Israel, which has not been yet fully realized. The Davidic covenant in 2 Samuel 7:12 through 16 promises a future kingdom ruled by Christ, a descendant of David, which requires a literal fulfillment. Importantly, premillennialism maintains a clear distinction between the church and Israel. God's promises to ethnic Israel remain intact and will be fulfilled in the future. Historically, premillennialism has seen shifts in its popularity. In the early church, it was widely held as a belief, with early Christians expecting Christ's imminent return to establish his kingdom. However, during the medieval and Reformation period, this view declined due to the influence of Augustine and the rise of amillennialism, which interpreted the millennium as symbolic. In the 19th and 20th century, premillennialism resurged, especially with the rise of dispensationalism, emphasizing a literal interpretation of prophecy. So, why does this matter? Premillennialism has real world implications for how believers understand prophecy and live out their faith. It reinforces hope. Believers look forward to anticipation to Christ's physical return and the restoration of God's kingdom. It encourages a literal interpretation of prophecy, leading to a consistent approach to biblical eschatology. It motivates global evangelism as the fulfillment of the end times prophecy drives believers to share the gospel, knowing that Christ's return is certain. So I'll conclude by saying premillennialism remains a significant eschatological position, emphasizing a future, literal reign of Christ and the fulfillment of God's promises to Israel and the world. As we consider these truths, we are reminded to live in anticipation of Christ's return and to remain faithful in our mission to share the gospel. Thanks for listening today. Have a great afternoon.